Keyboards?
I tried to give away like a couple dozen Blackberries about a year ago and zero response. I got the same response for my PS2 keyboards. But today, I do have an iPhone 5 for your bidding pleasures.
How much dust did they have on it?
Not that much. We only used it once. If anybody wants this more than Doobie, I'm going to be giving it to him. It is a KVM switch.
With PS2?
PS2.
With PS2?
I can give you the keyboards to go with it.
In fact, it's mandatory that you take the keyboards.
No, it's PS2, I don't want it.
But now you don't want it. Now you have to take it.
That's the story of my life with Joey.
Yes.
Don't you have to surplus that?
I was going to say,
And he's not a university.
There's a P1 for it.
Negative. Not if I throw it. Not if I don't. Not if I throw it in the trash.
Breaking it down.
I'm just master
Right now.
ceremonies. I will get going with first opening it up to welcoming you all. And now for Kristen to speak to.
Okay, I do. I'm going to try to stand exactly where you are.
I won't move.
You don't care. Right.
Take Mark.
Thank you.
Typical accent.
Yeah. Well, and now that there's actually slides I need to show you, that the camera's not going to be looking at the slides, and that's okay. But, Marge from Accounts sent me an email because there are all these new faculty and staff. There are 150 new faculty and staff that are coming forward, not to mention all the students that are coming. So I will send you this via email because it's a really gross looking slide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But this is her process for new faculty and staff. She's getting a lot of calls from LSPs and from admins on setting up new faculty and staff. So this was her cheat sheet of what to do for new faculty and staff. So I will send it out as part of the reply to everybody from the meeting.
thanks.
And then for the new students, she just had a website that she's sending over to Sean.
Can you go back a second?
Yeah, it's it's probably, this is not the sanctioned communication approved version of
One
what to
thing
do.
we found about number 3 there, having the people go take this quiz.
Yes.
Sometimes it asks for some kind of authentication.
It
And
always
they're
does.
They're new people.
So they can't do any
They need to
authentication.
go to the right. There's a default password that they're given.
Well,
What
I
are
wasn't
they
given a
giving?
default
Well,
password. I
A
was
lot of
told-
They're not
people,
told it. It's just their account has a default password.
but that says, what is
They're
that
given it
default?
on a piece of paper when they go to get their physical ID.
Right,
Yeah.
if
The
you
problem
haven't
is that
gotten your
people
badge
call
yet,
in
you don't
and
have
they
your
say, I want to get my email account before I go to get my physical ID. And the real answer is, well, it doesn't really work.
Right,
Right.
it's a pain in the...
I'm just saying, we need some very definite step of, procedure here for that.
Okay, yes.
I have a suggestion. Whoever got turned loose with a password wizard, I think we need something for this process that was the same kind of thing. Little radio buttons. You click one, and it takes you to something, you do it. And then you come back here, and you click another radio button, and it takes you to the next thing you do.
That takes all the challenge out of it.
Nobody who is brand new should have to try to navigate this.
I hear you. Yeah, well, that's, I mean, to Chris's point, this is why everybody they end up, LSPs get dragged into it and admins get dragged into
Yeah.
it.
Are you did this morning?
Okay, Mr. Donald.
And you know what? If you sit down with somebody and they've been and got their ID and they've got the ID of the piece of paper, it took me an hour and a half to work through this with a new person. Giving them time to answer the quizzes and an hour and a half.
They just need to be able to read faster.
They need 2 monitors, one to have the quiz on this screen and the...
Yeah.
And the,
You'll want to talk to ISPro about the mandates for for regulatory compliance.
That's
And,
I don't
Actually-
believe it's the mandates. I believe it's the implementation.
Yes.
Right.
fair enough.
Yeah. We could use the wizard.
Yeah, if you had an equivalent of the ITC.
I want to throw
network
another
utility.
wrench into this too, based on some of the previous conversations we've had. People who are not part of Oracle, so foundation folks, we can't go through this process, and so we get things manually. So as a result, we're not able to change our passwords. We were told by Tracy Smith, well, just do your, in your Control-Alt-Delete in that page, you can do it just fine. We found a lovely little thing that we can basically bypass all of password requirements by doing that. So doing it that way actually gets us to be able to make our password TT if we'd like.
Okay.
So we should probably, that needs to kind of get
I'd
Okay.
be happy to set up a meeting to talk about it. It's been on my radar for a while. We're working on refactoring the student
Yeah, the
process at the
accounts
moment. We're reviewing that process.
Yeah.
This was next on the list, but if you guys want to escalate it in priority and have a meeting about it, I'm more than happy to talk about it.
Or at least have some things going on.
I recognize it's kind of broken and not real helpful, and we're happy to have a conversation and
I
start
talked to
bringing up
Marge
issues.
this morning, so I'll be happy to volunteer to help with this somewhere or another, but
The key though is that we're trying to provide this because Marge is getting hammered with calls. And if you have this, then you know what the process is that will help, you self-help and self-help for your users a little bit more.
the only thing about it is sometimes the process doesn't work, and that's why we have to go start calling her again.
And that's not a problem. She's just identified she's getting a lot of routine calls that if people knew this information, they wouldn't be calling her. She by no means doesn't want you to call her. She just is trying to limit the volume of calls for things that are routine that this should be able to answer.
Well, and I do think, talking with her, she also, you're new to the university. We don't want to make the experience be a bad experience on how complicated we're making it and how much time it's taking.
Right.
It's sort of the wrong message. But so this is just, yes.
But these directions are correct if they have gone and gotten their ID and have their little, what they call their passphrase,
Yeah.
because that is the first password that it wants. But there is also another screen that if you go a different way, because we have 8,000 web pages, that it will say, it will take your social security number if you end up on the right screen. So, but then again, if you have a new employee that doesn't remember she ever registered for class and already has NetBadge, then
Better move us on, Kristen. It's
Okay, we're moving right along. Okay, so that was Marge's stuff. I also sent out an antivirus survey. If you could participate by the end of the week, that'd be great. We've got a ton of responses already. We're just trying to figure out what people are using, specifically around Symantec, and how many are not using it. We're trying to figure out licensing, and then also training. A lot of people are interested in Microsoft's Forefront, so we're trying to figure out what that position should be and if we should do some best practices around that. Did anybody else have other stuff that they know is going on that we should talk about? Just a bunch of nuance please on me. That's the tape running. I'll get behind the camera. Better at that.
This will mess
Stop.
We have some new, 4 or 5 new LSPs. Some are actually here today. And we have 2 here. Matt, so are you Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Okay, good. Critpole?
He's our CTO at Prairie School. He's over at the Teaching with Technology thing this time.
Okay, excellent.
Michael's gone. Michael's gone.
So he's gone.
Already. Yep.
Okay, that was quick.
We don't mess
Yeah.
Moving right along. He couldn't get
Moving right along. James.
Is he still here?
Yeah, is James still here?
He's still with us.
He's
not here.
I take it, Selena?
This is Selena.
Excellent. Nice to meet you. And Stephen over at the bookstore. And then we'll move right along to adjourn.
Excellent. Right here. Right, no, I'm not standing there. But I do need my cord back. Excellent. All right.